I want to get to I'm very proud that we have not spoken one word about Lane Kiffin before this. And I have had no interest in whether he was staying at Ole Miss or going to LSU. I could care less. First of all, he's never won anything in his life, and he's been a jackass his whole life. His father was one of the great, revered defensive coordinators and coaches in the history of the NFL, Monty Kiffin. Wonderful man. Great coach. Legendary defensive coordinator. Pillar of the NFL. Revered. Lane Kiffin's always been a clown, and he's still a clown. I'll get to that in a second. Now, first, sign up for the free Mike Francesa newsletter. You'll get exclusive content, contest offers. Go to the MikeFrancesa'Podcast.com and sign up. And remember, absolutely free. Now, BetRivers players who place a same-game parlay of at least $10 on any NFL or NCAA football game will receive an entry into the weekly Squares games. Winning Squares can earn up to $50 bonus bet per entry. So see the BetRivers app or website for full details. Okay. Let me take this in pieces. First of all, it has been covered so outrageously and so poorly. Now, some people have had it on the money, so I'm not going to list names here of good and bad. But there are some people who have embarrassed themselves. Now, maybe they're friendly with Kiffin, or maybe they have a tie to the school like McFarland has with LSU. But some of the analysis that they have put forth, including Herbstreit, who I always like, is so ridiculous. So here's the situation. He has put Ole Miss in the playoff. We know that. Great season for Ole Miss. We know that. Okay? Now, Ole Miss isn't going to win anything this year. They're not going to win a championship. But you know what? They've had a wonderful season. Kudos to them. Now, I would never sit here ever and tell you anybody, even in this screwed up college sports scene, which college basketball and college football, which I have been around for 45 years or more, cannot survive with what it's doing to itself right now. There is no way this can stand. I just want you to know that. The system they now have put forth in both sports will collapse. That's fine. Now, that's for another day. I will never, ever, ever sit here and say any guy is not allowed to go across the street for an extra buck. And any reporter who does is a phony and a complete hypocrite, because they'd be the first guy to trip on the way out the door to catch another buck from another station or a better broadcasting job. Hey, everybody has a right to feed their family. Everybody has a right to make every buck they want. And if someone makes $5 million and wants to make $10 million, kudos to them. This is America. I would never, ever have a problem with that. So I don't have a problem with him wanting to go to LSU, despite the timing and the way the system works, because it can't work the way they run it right now. But for have people who are actually analysts of the sport to stand up there and tell you he should coach both teams at the same time in the same league, you want him to have the head coaching job at two schools? I'm leaving this school. I've threatened to rob and pillar and destroy this team. If my assistants are not on the plane tomorrow, they have no job at LSU, number one. Number two, he's going to take players from LSU. Number three, he's going to begin recruiting at LSU if he hasn't already. The whole time he'd be preparing Ole Miss, which would be half-hearted at best. Some players he's culling to take with him to LSU. Some assistants he's culling to take to LSU. And he's recruiting in every fashion, which we do now, the NIL and everything else, recruiting high school players and college players to play for LSU next year so he hits the ground running. You want him to be at Ole Miss while he is working for LSU? Do you want Ole Miss to pay him at the same time? And there are people who looked in the camera, Herbsy, you got to let him finish what he started. Hey, if you're Ole Miss, he just told you, I'm out of here, and I'm going to steal everything but the chandeliers on the way out. If you have one bit of pride, if you're an athletic official, if you're a trustee, if you're a big booster at Ole Miss, you tell him to get the hell out of the building and leave the keys. We'll do this ourselves. We don't need your help. And we're going to fight you on every guy you want to take. Hey, the minute he decided to take the LSU job, he's not the Ole Miss coach anymore. What, are you kidding me? I don't see any reason. You heard this from multiple people. I don't see any reason he can't coach both teams in the same league while he's pillaring and stealing from Ole Miss while he's supposed to be coaching them. This complete fraud who loved the players so much he wouldn't even meet with them when they wanted to meet with him. When his leadership council, which was so important to his success this year, he wouldn't even meet with them. And you want to keep him? Have you no shame? Have you no pride? The guy left. Fine. We'll do it without him. I don't give a damn if the math teacher coaches the game. It's better than having him coach the game. Let him coach the game while he recruits for LSU. While he tries to steal players from your team and coaches. And you want to have him in the building when he just told you you're not good enough. Here's what he told you. It's not about the money. It's about the opportunity for more money. It's always about the money. Go to what George Young said, okay? And don't listen to first of all, don't listen to any agent ever, okay? None of them. And the ones that sound like preachers, listen to them less. When they tell you it's not about the money, you know it's about the money. It's always about the money and the opportunity for more money. But it's about the idea of what Ole Miss represents. Ole Miss is a small state. It's not a powerhouse program. It's a program where you have to go elsewhere to get the players in. It's not an easy task. It's much easier at Ole Miss, at LSU. That's why guys win national championships at LSU and at Alabama. Because you can win national championships in those schools. It's really hard to win a national championship at Ole Miss. It's like the difference between Indiana and Ohio State. There's a world of difference. Do you know how many players there are in the state of Ohio? And if you take in Ohio and Pennsylvania, do you know how many players are there versus how many players are in the state of Indiana? And find any of the good athletes who don't bounce the other ball? Remember, Indiana's a basketball state. And while at this moment, with Cignetti's genius, and he's been utterly brilliant, people want to call Indiana a football school. Indiana will never, ever, ever be a football school. That's like calling Kentucky a football school. Indiana's a basketball school that right now is playing brilliant, mind-boggling football to the level that none of us who know anything about college football ever thought was possible. There are certain places where it's impossible to win. It's impossible to win in Indiana. It's impossible to win in Kentucky. It's impossible to win in Kansas in football. There are places where there just aren't a lot of players. There's a lot of LSU is a factory. Yes, I understand going to LSU, and I don't have a problem with him going to LSU, but the idea that somebody can stand up and tell me that he can stay at Ole Miss and finish what he wants when he spent the day trying to blackmail them and threaten them and extort them. And you want him to stay there in goodwill and try and lead these players because these players deserve it. You don't give a crap about the players. None of you. This is about you trying to, curry favor with Lane Kiffin, and it's an LSU guy talking about LSU. It's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. Coach two schools at the same time in the same league? You can't coach two schools ever. You only work for one. He now works for LSU. Get the hell out of the building. And I'll fight you for every player you want. I might lose 8 out of 10, but I'm going to fight you for everyone. And if I have to coach with one guy, if I have to coach with Judge, if I have to coach with a grad assistant, I'd rather do that and take my chances in that game and keep my head up high than to have that snake within 1,000 miles of my team. Are these people kidding? Or what? He can leave. But he showed his true colors. He doesn't give a damn about anybody but Lane Kiffin. He never has. First of all, he's been a jackass his whole life. He's never won anything. What's the big deal about Lane Kiffin? What, really? When did this become some kind of craze to get Lane Kiffin to coach your team? What has he ever won? You want to explain to me? Go down the line and explain to me where he's won. I think he's only had one team in his life ever finish in the top 10. And he's always been a buffoon. Hey, right now he's hot. He played the cards. He got LSU to chalk it up. They obviously couldn't wait to get Kelly out of the building. And listen, Kelly did everything wrong at LSU. Kelly never belonged, from his fake accent and the stupid. LSU was so stupid and so dumb to hire Kelly in the first place with his fake accent and everything else. Kelly's always been a fraud and not a good guy. That's been his history forever. Go talk to many people about him. They're going to wait to get rid of him. Everywhere he's been, they couldn't wait to get rid of him. But you know what? Lane Kiffin's never won anything either. Ever. So he did a good job this year. Yes, he did. And he did a good job with Dart. Yes, he did. Fine. There's plenty of coaches who have done that. Plenty of coaches. Plenty of guys have good years or a couple of year good run. Doesn't make them Nick Saban. And anybody who could try and look into a camera and sell an audience that it's okay that he coaches both teams at the same time, well, if they actually believe that, they shouldn't have a job. And I'm going to figure they don't believe it, but they have an agenda. And they should be ashamed for having an agenda. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt they have an agenda because they can't be that stupid. The minute he takes the LSU job, he's never, ever allowed in the building again. Ever. And when you hear the stories of what he did on the way out the door and showed his true colors about what he thought about the players and the people at Ole Miss, hey, he can't lose enough and Ole Miss can't win enough. That's the bottom line. Well, I know this. I don't care if Mickey Mouse is coaching Ole Miss in the game. I'm rooting for him. That's all there is to it. And their players. We'll see you later.